Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is able to hear me and everyone is able to see my screen. If possible, can someone please confirm if you are able to hear me clearly and able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I think the issue is resolved with Zoom, sir. So we are back to Shpam. So what we discussed in the last class is on registry pattern. Okay. So what exactly a registry pattern is? It is only apply for microservices, guys. This design pattern especially applies for only microservices. Why? Because every microservice will have its own configuration, bare minimum configuration, like service name and the port number. Every microservice will have its own configuration, like service name as well as port number. Okay. All these details should be we need somewhere else to be stored. We need these somewhere else to be stored. For what it should be stored? To achieve a loosely coupling architecture. To achieve a loosely coupling architecture between client and service. What do you mean by loosely coupled architecture? If there is any change in the service side, if there is any change on the microservice side, client should not be impacted. Okay. So what is the meaning here? To achieve a loosely coupled architecture where we require a particular capability of registry so that we can achieve a loosely coupled architecture between the client and service side. Okay. So guys, one point here is I am taking some order service guys. Order service who is listening on the port of 9090. Then the URL will be what, sir? http xy dot the domain name or DNS name .com/9090 order service, and cart service is listening to this one, product service is listening to this one, shipment service is listening to this one. Okay. So order service 9090, cart service is 9091, and product service is 9092, shipment service is 9093. Right? Yes, sir, guys. Yeah. Now, how registry pattern is going to function? What are the different flavors of registry function that I am going to discuss for today? Before I proceed further, as of now, any questions from anyone till now, guys? In any of the pattern or in any of the area, any questions so far? Everyone is clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. Okay, right. Now, in a configuration point of view, guys, first we need to think of changes. What could be the changes may come to achieve a loosely coupled architecture? By default, the changes will be in a microservices architecture. What could be the changes, guys, in a configuration point of view? Future configuration changes. What are the changes may come, sir? Port number can be changed, right? Yes, sir, guys. Next one is system or VM or a IP address can be changed. Business logic can be changed. Right, sir? Correct, right? All these kinds are correct. Actually, what are the future configuration changes? Maybe future, not configuration changes. Future changes may expected in microservices. Right, sir? Will you agree here? Port number can be changed. IP address can be changed. Business logic can be changed. Sir, service name can be changed. Service name can be changed or not, guys? Do we have a probability of a service name can be changed?
No, we cannot change.
Exactly. We will not change actually. We'll not, I mean, we can change, but we will not get a real use case. Sir, I'll go to configuration, I can change, but do you have any use case for that? No use case. By default, there is no use case where service name, correct, right? So this is the unique value. Then only registry and discovery pattern will work. This is a unique value. Then only registry pattern or a discovery pattern will work. Okay. So what exactly the architecture is by default? Okay. Spring gives with a registry pattern. Spring gives with registry pattern. Okay, 1 second, guys. 1 second, 1 second. So Spring comes with registry pattern. There are a lot of registry patterns available, but one of the thing is Spring also comes with registry pattern, guys. Okay. So Spring registry pattern, which comes by default, it's an open source. Okay. Where we call that as a Eureka. Okay. Spring comes with Eureka service for registry and discovery services. Okay. So Spring comes with Eureka service for registry and discovery service here. So what is the meaning of registry? What is the meaning of discovery? What exactly the meaning of registry? What exactly the meaning of discovery? Okay, Spring comes with a Eureka service for registry as well as discovery service. Okay, what is the meaning of here? Spring automatically it contains of REST APIs. With REST API, one REST API for registry service. Registry service where Eureka client and Eureka server. Eureka client and Eureka server. REST API will be there. By default, this REST API having registry service, which is having Eureka client and Eureka server. Okay. So what exactly the functionality of Eureka client and Eureka server is? I mean, we'll see at the coding time, but I'll explain at a high level on the theory part of time. Okay. Also, REST API is having discovery service, which is API gateway, whatever I mentioned in the last class, right? API gateway involved here. Discovery service will be API gateway. Let me come, guys. Spring comes with Eureka service, guys. For what? Registration and discovery. Okay. So it is provided REST API for registration service as well as for discovery service. Registration service, who are involved? Eureka client and Eureka server. These are given by the Spring only, guys. These are typically given by Spring only. Also discovery services given by REST API, where API gateway will be involved. Typically, API gateway will be involved here. So, what is the real functionality here? What is the real functionality here? Typically, guys, by default, okay, what is the typical functionality is? By default, it comes with a client. So, what I mean to say that here, a client, it can be Angular client or mobile client or any client here. Client or a desktop. Yes, sir, guys. Web client I can call. Request can come from anywhere, right? Desktop or web client. So by default, what is the entry point, sir? As I discussed in the last class, entry point is API gateway, right, sir? Yes, sir, guys. Entry point is typically API gateway, correct, right, sir? Every client entry point is API gateway. Yes, sir, no, guys? So here API gateway will come here. Here API gateway will come here. So client will talk to API gateway. Web client also will talk to API gateway. This is two-way communication. Yes or no? Two-way communication. Client will talk to API gateway. Sorry, not two-way, right? Client will talk to API gateway. That's it. Web client also will talk to API gateway. That's it. And it provides a response, and we cannot say that two-way communication because gateway will never call to client. Now, it is going to have a capability, okay, where order service, cart service, and product service, okay, these will be every microservice will have Eureka client. By default, every microservice should have what? Eureka client. It should have the capability. I mean, it should come with Eureka client. Eureka client, it should have. Every microservice will have Eureka client. We will add the dependency, guys. We are going to add the dependency. Okay. Every microservice will have a Eureka client dependency. What exactly it does here? What exactly it is going to have? Okay. This is called as Eureka server. This is called as Eureka server. What are the capabilities it is going to have? Registration as well as discovery, right, guys? Yes or no, guys? So, which is going to have registration as well as discovery. So, these are the two capabilities, guys. Right? So, gateway will call discovery service. All Eureka clients all Eureka clients will talk to registration service on startup. These will be on startup, guys. Whenever our microservice is started, okay, on startup, whenever microservice is started on startup, all these services will be registered. Understand? So by default, Eureka is having a capability of on startup registration service will be there. All services are registered. Whenever order service is started, whenever cart service is started, whenever product service is started, whenever shipment service is started, all these services will be registered to Eureka registry. It is having some temporary memory area. Okay? It is having some temporary memory area like service name and port number details. It is going to have some temporary memory area, service name as well as port number. Okay? Like here, order service. Right, sir? Which is equal to 9090. So what is the unique key here? Service name will be unique key here. Understand, guys? Service name will be unique here. Cart service 9091. Product service 9092. Ship service 9093. Like that, how many services are there? That many services will be registered over here. How many services are there? That many services will be registered in this registration memory area. Who will manage this memory area, guys? Registration service is going to manage these capabilities. Registration service is going to manage this memory. Understand? So whenever a microservice is started, Eureka client on the microservice, you no need to write a code. You no need to write any code here. Just like we'll add a dependency of Eureka client, okay, which is going to talk to automatically registration service with parameters of, what are the parameters? Order, I mean, the parameters are service name as well as port number. Understand, sir? Service name as well as port number. Okay. So it is going to register. What is the logic here? Port number can be changed. IP address can be changed. Business logic can be changed. But service name cannot be changed. This should be unique. Understand? Sir, as of now, everyone is clear? As of now, everyone is clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, you should ask a question. Sir, is it a microservice? What is this actually? Eureka. Is it a service or it's a server or what exactly it is?
It is a
Okay.
server.
Service, sir.
It's a service. So we need to create a separate microservice here. A separate microservice here. Okay. What is exactly? It's a separate microservice, guys. This is a separate microservice altogether. This microservice will have which dependency? Eureka server dependency. This is service. This is going to have what dependency, guys? Eureka server dependency. Client will be what? At a individual microservice level. We need to create a separate microservice, guys. We need to create a separate microservice. That microservice comes with server dependency. That microservice comes with server dependency. Okay. Then this microservice also should have some name and port number, right, guys? Every microservice, this is also a microservice. It should have some name as well as port number, right, guys? Yes or no, guys? So default service name, which is equal to service name Eureka port number 8761. These are the default port numbers, guys. These are what here? Default port numbers. This is also separate microservice which contains the details like this. Okay, which is a Eureka server dependency. Service name will be Eureka. Default port number is 8761, which we can customize. Okay, so in architecture, here, how many microservices I am going to create here? Order service is a microservice. Cart service is a microservice. Product service can be a microservice. Shipment service can be a microservice. 4. And Eureka is also a separate microservice, which is having registration service as well as discovery service. Okay. How about API gateway, sir? Is it a separate, it is also a microservice? API gateway.
Yes.
Yes, sir. It's a separate microservice.
It is also a microservice, but we have a capability. I can create only one microservice with these two dependencies. Okay, I can create these two dependencies: API gateway as a one dependency, Eureka server as another dependency. Okay, understand, right, guys? Maybe I will remove this. Okay, I'll remove this, guys. I'll keep here. Okay. Now, what is the real architecture for me? These two will be these two. Okay. These two will be having one microservice. One microservice with two capabilities. One microservice with two capability. One is gateway capability, registration service capability. Sorry, not registration service. Eureka server. Okay. So this is going to be one more microservice which is having two capabilities: gateway as well as Eureka. gateway as well as Eureka. So this is going to talk to actual micro. I think a communication is there, right? Actual microservice here. Where, how is the URL, guys, here? What exactly the URL client should use? What exactly the URL client should use? Assuming that this the port number is 8761, right, guys? This the port number is 8761, right, guys? Okay. So what could be the URL? If any URL comes to API gateway, any URL I am hitting, okay? So by default, what exactly the URL here? HTTP HTTP xyz.com colon 8761 slash ORD service. Understand? This is one service, right, guys? One URL. What is the other URL? HTTP xyz.com colon 8761 slash PRD service. Yes or no, guys? Right. Also, cart service. Also, shipment. So these are the URLs which client is using. Okay. This URL, the client will hard code, guys. Hard code in the sense client side will keep here. They will never change, guys. These URLs will never change. What is the meaning here? They never change. My gateway and Eureka, we will never change them. Once it is fixed, that's fixed. No change in mission, no change in service name, no change in port number related to a microservice which is having gateway and Eureka. Understand? Guys, understand, right? There should be no changes here, guys. Okay. No changes to this microservice. No changes to this microservice. Maybe I'll write here. No changes are no changes to be implemented. No changes. We should design. Okay, maybe we should design Eureka and gateway as a fixed microservice. No changes allowed in terms of configuration. In terms of configuration, business logic can change. Configuration like service name and port number. Service name and port number should not change. Maybe IP address can be changed, guys. Can I change IP address on a Eureka? Can I change an IP address, guys? Possibly I can change, but I have a DNS, right? DNS will point to the same IP address. I should make like that. Maybe if you
Like
if you don't have a
static IP, sir?
DNS, yeah,
Hello, sir.
static IP are, yeah. 1 second. I'll explain, sir. I'll give you explanation. Okay. So just give me 2 minutes. I'll take the questions. First, let me explain and I'll take the questions, sir. After 2 minutes, I'll take the questions. Okay. So what is my point here is especially this microservice having API gateway and Eureka server. These two in one microservice, guys. Okay. And how we design this microservice, guys? There should be no changes in the service name and port number. That's the point for sure. We never change. But can I change the IP? Can I move this to another IP address? Another server, another service, another server, I can say. Yes, but it should be on a network point, guys. It should be on a network point of view, not on the software point of view. Okay. For example, I have 10 computers in the network. Okay. First computer I am taking here on the registration service. I mean, these two services. I have a Windows operating system or any other operating system, DNS, domain name service will be there, sir. I can configure to which IP address the DNS should map to. I can configure network level. This is not a software level, network level. Okay. And if I'm changing to other IP address, yes, I can map that to another DNS. No change. Whenever xyz.com, definitely this host name resolved to an IP address, right, guys? Host name should be resolved to an IP address by host name should be resolved by IP address. Host name should be resolved to an IP address. Host name should be resolved to an IP address. Okay. And if I change the IP address, no impact. But we need to do a DNS level change on the network level. Okay. Then even if you change IP address also, no issues. But if your network where DNS is change is not allowed, you don't have a control on the network, then don't change the IP address also. I mean, it all depends on the permutations and combinations. Lot of companies, they may give an option to DNS level changes. They may not give, they may give. If at all, if your team is having a capability of DNS change, then you can change the IP address. Otherwise, don't change the IP address also. Okay. Now you can take the questions. I'm ready to take the questions, guys. Now, come on. Some people asked me questions, right? Yeah, guys, come on, guys. Anyone I can ask questions, right?
Hello, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Actually, if you're changing the IP address, that means we are dependent on this our microservice also, right? We need to change there also, right?
I mean, just like we are moving the jar or var from one computer to other computer, we are starting like.
Yes, sir.
For example,
But, we need to register, right? I mean to say, as per your Eureka client, where we need to register where our server is running, right? Eureka server in microservices.
by default, those, yes, sir, but it doesn't depend on client, right? So client is not impacted, right? So assuming that, yeah, I got your question. Let me repeat. Okay. Assuming that I'm changing the server. Okay. When I'm changing server, I should stop, or if I stop the service, definitely I need to stop the service, right? If I stop the Eureka discovery service, automatically all my services will be stopped, even though it is up, because it have a health check.
Okay.
All our microservices will be stopped here. But what is the thing here? My only intention is my front end is in different technology. It's a different team, or it's a different company, or it's a different shell. I should achieve loosely coupled architecture. Inside my home, microservices are my home, registry service is my home, discovery service is also my home. Inside my home, any changes I can do, but externally it should not impact it. So Whenever I change my IP address, I will stop all my microservices. I will move my Eureka to a new server. Then first I will start Eureka and gateway. Then I will start my microservices. No impact to client. Understand?
Yes, sir. But we need to do, I think, like a code level changes we don't need to do in our microservice, sir, because we are changing the IP address, right?
You may have a code level changes also. That's what I told, right, sir?
No, okay.
I mean, for example, in API gateway, what code you will write in API gateway? Protocol transmission code, conversion
Okay.
code, security code, authentication authorization code, any common
Right.
login code. That's what I discussed, right? You can change.
Correct.
What exactly API gateway? Cross-cutting concern. What are the
Concern.
cross-cutting concerns? That code you need to write, right?
Yeah,
What
logging,
code you
security.
are going to? Correct. So that sort of code you can write here. Any change, code can be changed here.
Right. Cross-cutting.
Understand? Yeah.
Right.
Understand, right, sir?
So there won't be any dependency, right? Eureka server and with our microservices, because we need to start first. These are microservices. We need to start first.
By default, sir. For example,
Oh.
sir, assume you
Okay.
didn't started this, sir. Assume you
Okay.
didn't started our Eureka server, but you are starting microservice. It should be registered, right? First of all,
Correct.
because we have a dependency, right? So
Oh.
the service will be started, but registration is not going to happen. It is continuously try actually. We have a configuration at microservice which will retry for every 10 seconds or 20 seconds. It will retry to register.
Okay.
Understand, right? So,
Yeah.
we need to start the Eureka first, then all microservices next. Okay, right.
Okay. Right.
Yep. Any other question, guys? As of now? As of now, any questions, guys? Anyone, please? Okay. Now, whenever this API is hitting, sir, okay? Whenever I hit this API, right, sir? So whenever I hit all these requests, it should go to gateway and it will be called discovery service here. It's going to call discovery service here. Okay. What discovery service is going to do here? ORD service. Right? First of all, it will take the ORD service and it knows it will retrieve IP address and a port number. It will retrieve IP address and port number, which is saved in PRD service, IP address, and port number, etc. All these details. Okay, that will be available right here. So what exactly discovery service is going to do that here? Whenever ORD service is invoked, it is going to get the details. Okay, route the traffic to 9090 with all other details. Route the traffic to 9090. How it is going to do that actually? It is going to call. Discovery is going to call this service. Discovery service should going to call this service. It's not order service, right? ORDER. Sorry. It's a spelling should be very important here. ORD service only, right, guys? I wrote wrong here. I mean, service name should be correct. ORD service. Okay. So ORD service 9090 and all the other parameters will be there, right? Local xyz.com 8761/order service where I have a request body, right? Or path variables, anything can be there, right? Apart from our regular URL, all will be redirected. API gateway, it will call the discovery service. Discovery service is going to call the registration service. API gateway will call discovery and it will get the port number and the IP address, and API gateway will redirect it to the respective service here. API gateway will be redirecting to order service here. After getting this particular request, it will connect to the order service. Okay, so maybe I'll take one more here. Yeah, and cart also. Product. And shipment. Little bit clumsy, guys. So this is the way where we should have some kind of architecture where it is going to talk here. If any change on the service side, no impact to client. If any change on the client side, no impact to server. So this is how registration and discovery and Eureka. Okay. Understand, guys? Everyone is clear how so far? You might have already know this, but I am teaching here. But, sir, any questions or before I proceed further? As of now, any questions so far, guys? Right. Sir, if we have a load balancer on microservice, what exactly the architecture? The next question, right, sir? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
If I have a load balancer on my order service, okay, what exactly the architecture? What is that we need to do that? So there is a possibility that my microservices will be I mean, we have a scalability and high availability, right, guys? And can we have the load balancer at Eureka level also, sir? Can we also have a load balancer at Eureka level? By default, we don't require a load balancing capability at Eureka. We don't require, sir. The only functionality is what, sir? It will take, it will call, and it will redirect. We don't require any load balancing capability at a Eureka and gateway level. Eureka and gateway level. Okay. So by default, whenever there is a load balancing only possible at an individual microservice level. Load balancing is possible only at an individual microservice level, not on the Eureka level. But if individual microservice is there any impact for us? Yes, definitely impact will be there. Definitely there should be an impact will be there here. Any idea how to handle that situation, guys? If I have a load balancing on, assuming that order service, it's a critical service. I have a load balancing capability on order service. Where is the architectural change will come here on this diagram? Anyone, any
API
idea?
gateway level.
Load balancer on client's the service side, right?
Yes, I'm talking load balancing at a microservice side because we don't have a possibility on Eureka. I don't require a load balancing capability on Eureka.
Sir, API gateway level.
Any further idea, guys? Okay, let me put a different way. Let me put the question a different way. Sir, I'm going to bring a load balancer for order service. Any infrastructure changes required for gateway and Eureka apart from configuration?
No, sir.
No.
Something I need to add something or something like, do I need to do anything?
No, sir. No.
Only configuration changes will be there. Correct. Only
No,
configuration.
That
Yeah.
Eureka, that order service should have one Eureka client, right? That client will automatically do the load balancing.
Eureka client does not have load balancing capability. Okay. Eureka client does not have load balancing capability. What is the Eureka client responsibility? Eureka client responsibility to call Eureka server registration. That's it. Please, I'm telling guys, Eureka client responsibility is only it will call Eureka server registration service. That's it. Understand? Yeah, maybe I'll explain this concept in tomorrow. Also, service to service communication. I only talk this from client to server, right, sir? This diagram I told from client to server, right, guys? But order service want to call cart service. Order service want to call shipment service. That is also possibility there, right, sir? That is also
Yes.
possibilities there, right?
Yes.
So that also I'm going to explain. Okay.
Sir,
So
so
I'll-
where we have to change in the configuration for
I'm
load
going to
balancing?
explain. I'm going to explain. That's what I told. I'm going to cover for today. Tomorrow. It will take 15 minutes of explanation. Okay. I'm going to cover for tomorrow. What is my tomorrow's agenda? Load balancing with this diagram. Load balancing with respect to services communication. Services to services, not from client to service. Okay. Yep. I'll close today, sir. I'll catch up tomorrow, guys. Okay. Thanks, one. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great